So I was on the web, and somebody emailed me this, or I stumbled across it. It's this document that you must have worked years on. You said you worked with someone else on it?
Oh, there were contributors, Nina Beatty, Marilyn Martin, and then we had actually a law enforcement officer that wants to remain anonymous.
Okay.
And then we had a few other people that were contributed less, but they contributed.
Okay, let me talk about this document. This is 257 pages, right?
Yeah.
You call it a document. To me, that's a book. Okay.
Right.
So that is not just like a novel or some story, or a bunch of accounts of people who are EMF sensitive or something like that. This is the actual violations of the law that people commit, exposing you and me and everyone to radio frequencies, and what the law is, and all the references. This is an amazing reference document, and it's hard reference, right, more or less?
Hard reference, what do you mean?
Well, you have a little comment here and there about what these things mean, but you say this is the law that's being broken, or this is the...
we cite the source, yeah.
Exactly.
We'll cite the law.
It's hard reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is just an incredible document that's so useful to people who are thinking, wait a minute, I don't feel well around this wireless, and they put this smart meter on, I start to get sick or whatever. So you go to this document, you see endless reference, but I mean, it's not like you get lost in this, because you got a really good table of contents, and you know where you are, and you find the thing you want to talk about at your city council meeting, or with your doctor, or with your law enforcement, or whatever. So just explain, if you can, in a clear way, a concise way, how people could use this document, and what is in it. You know better than I do.
Sure. They can use it for lawsuits. They can use it with their legislators. What else is there? Then with the public, they can email it. They can educate people. They could have gathering and go over the document. I've given PowerPoint presentations and all that.
Or pick topics out of it and use that, because there's so much there. You could do like probably 50 one-hour presentations of any section in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot in there. Yeah.
So you become like the neighborhood expert in electromagnetic radiation and what it does.
Right.
And
you can become the neighborhood expert, and you can use my material to do that.
Yeah.
No problem.
Copyright. No, we're not worried.
No copyright.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's like we
cite
need
the source. That's all we ask, and
give attribution to, and how would that be to
the paper? Legal, constitutional, and human rights violations of smart meters and smart grid.
Okay, now that was the title of the paper.
Yeah.
And that's important. One more time, slow on that.
Sure. Legal, constitutional, and human rights violations of smart meters and smart grid.
Right. So anybody that feels like maybe it's not right that I'm getting exposed to wireless frequencies, the answer is in this document, and how you address it, and how you call, foul on it.
Yeah, and let me tell you something else. It's not even updated, okay? If we were to update that paper, we've now got the National Toxicology Program, part of NIH, National Institutes of Health, the highest scientific office in the United States of America, showing clear evidence and statistical significance of carcinogenic effects. Some of the cancers that they found, do I need to go into?
Well, let me ask you this: if people want to go to the updates, can they find those online somewhere?
I've never updated this paper. My own health problems from this radiation have escalated so much. We don't have a smart meter where I live. We have an analog meter.
Yeah.
But we have the neighbors' smart meter pulses getting in, and I've been affected by those pulses. Okay?
And you say you have a transformer station nearby.
I have that too, but the pulses are the things that I feel.
Yeah. Okay.
Big time. And anyway, so my focus has, as it used to be, my love is and focus. I'm so committed to this issue, but I have to start focusing on where am I going to live, my health, my life.
So the quick answer is there's not a posted resource.
No, maybe we will update this paper. That's actually not a bad idea.
If you do, where do we check to see if you have?
It would be on stopsmartgrid.org, and I think it's a great idea to update it, because there is new evidence that's a game changer. This is Dow-Bear. We're talking about when you go into court and your experts have to pass the Dow-Bear standard. This study is going to pass the Dow-Bear standard, and the industry is going to lose.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
You cannot look the National Toxicology Program in the face and say, oh, the 7 different types of cancers you found, that's not real because our industry found this and it shows that you just can't do that.
Right.
This is Dow-Bear, game over.
Move on, Yeah, okay, so we'll look for that at, once again, stop
stopsmartgrid.org. I haven't updated yet, but I think it's a great idea you're giving me
So
to
we'll
do
check
that.
back. We'll check back there. But even if not, there's such tremendous information in this document, and that's a free download. Is it on the homepage? Where do we find this?
Yeah, it's right on the home. It's the first link on there. Just go stopsmartgrid.org. It's right there.
Okay.
The first link
and you
on
see
there.
that title, legal, blah, blah,
Legal,
blah.
constitutional, and human rights violations of smart meters and smart grid.
So if you're fighting wireless in any way, this is something you need, right?
Yeah, well, for smart meters and smart grid, there's so much information in that paper. I mean, I'm sure it could apply to 5G, 4G, 3G.
Yeah.
But, the bottom line, if you're getting any health effects from your smart meters, you can go to that paper and use it as a resource to fight your utility, take them to court, go to your legislators, whatever you want to do. Go to your neighborhood and present the paper.
You want to stand up in front of anybody and present. This makes you totally credible. You want to bring a lawsuit. You have like you say, the legal support right there. So check it out. Go to the website and check that out. And hope it helps. Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Real quick, just some details about what's in that document.
Sure. Well, the thing that the law enforcement officer pointed out to us and directed us to and guided us on is something called the FFB, the Federal Finance Bank. It's not a bank that even members of Congress are even aware of, some of them. They don't even know it exists.
I never heard of it, yeah.
Nobody knows about this bank, okay? The bank finances this type of thing. We have a graph.
What? Oh, the type that you did, your document?
No, the rollout of smart meters and smart
I see.
grid. Yeah.
I see.
We've got a graph of the money that this bank pretty much gave. They call it a loan, and when we inquired, they said, well, yeah, the loan doesn't actually have to be paid back. That's a gift.
Oh, really? Yeah,
That's what they told us.
A grant or whatever they call it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little shady.
And it's in the billions.
Calling it a loan, but it's not really.
Right. Apparently they gave $28 billion through this bank to these utility companies.
Is that the one that paid for all these smart meters to buy them? Like under Obama, they bought all these.
That's not even in that Obama thing. This is
Really?
like it's apparent. I guess this is what's going. Like the Obama, the 2009 Jobs Creation Act. Something like that.
Stimulus thing. Yeah.
It was.
They bought smart meters with it.
To my recollection, I haven't looked at that part in a while, but it was a couple of billion. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
This bank is $28 billion.
Yeah.
To these utilities. Yeah.
And what did that buy?
It bought the rollout of smart meters and
so maybe bought the equipment but put in maybe the back-end infrastructure, computers, processing. It's data processing. It's surveillance. So
listen, a smart meter, all it is a computer that can kill you.
Well,
that's
it's
what it is.
Radiating you.
It's a weaponized.
But it's a surveillance device.
Surveillance. I call it a weaponized. It's not just a surveillance device. It's a weapon. Let's be honest.
Right.
These things send pulses out that can stop your heart.
Yeah,
There's peer-reviewed published data showing this.
If you have a pacemaker, absolutely.
No, forget the pacemaker. A normal heart.
Yeah.
It can stop a normal heart. Okay. It can give you a heart attack. It can give you a stroke.
Okay.
It can give you lots of things.
So you got to not be close to those things. In other words, the closer you are, the more amplitude there is. And I mean, people need to know that.
Okay, but let's look at the other side of that. True, what you just said.
But I mean, if you're feeling heart palpitations, so you get 100 feet away, you're going to be safer. No?
You could be safer, but heart, that's just one organ, okay?
Yeah.
Low power density is easier blood-brain barrier permeation.
Yeah.
That's been replicated and published in Sweden, University of Lund.
Yeah.
Low power density, easier blood-brain barrier permeation. That means all these neurological illnesses are now on the table with low power density.
Pathogens get in your brain. That's what blood-brain barrier violation means.
But when we're talking about the radiation, that's just radiation pulses getting in your brain.
Right.
That does something to your brain.
Yes.
That can cause
you've got
stroke.
Radiation damage on one side, but when blood-brain barrier is violated, now you have a floodgate of unwanted
absolutely
chemicals, content, biological factors going into your brain that your blood-brain barrier is supposed to filter out.
Exactly, your blood-brain barrier, it filters out the toxins in the blood.
Exactly.
But this thing can actually cause illness in your brain. Like your brain can get cancer.
Right, from the radiation.
Your brain can get Alzheimer's. Your brain can get Parkinson's, ALS.
Right. So don't let your children sleep near this thing.
Huntington's disease.
Yeah.
Don't let your children get it off your house.
Yeah,
Sue the utility. These people need to be jailed.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be getting too excited here. Okay.
If that's what it is, that's what it is.
they're killing people.
Right.
I don't know why people are downplaying this and pretending this
Well,
is not
for
happening.
money. I mean, wireless industry is so powerful. You know, they can suppress anything. You don't hear any of this on the news. You don't hear it on mainstream
but
media.
it's people that know about it. They just let it stay on their house. It's killing them.
They're
It's
making
killing-
a living. They're making their whole living off of it. You know, millions of people are working for telecoms, working for utility companies, and
Okay,
you know,
right.
you can buy anybody. Everybody's got a price, and you know, I don't know. But
I don't feel.
any,
I don't have a price.
well, that's right. You know, we're looking at it a different way, and we're not interested in taking work from these companies. You know, you and I.
In addition to the graph that we have of the money that was dispersed from the FFB, the Federal Finance Bank, to these utility companies with pay us back or not, it's actually not a big deal, okay?
Right.
All right, so in addition to that, that's a number one on the thing, because, you know, you got to look at, follow the money
Yeah.
always, all right?
Yeah.
So in addition to that, we have the various constitutional, I just can't even, the Constitution is being violated by the government, okay?
Yeah.
The government's being run by these industries and other people too. We won't go down that rabbit hole here. But the Constitution, so we have the constitutional violations, the legal violations, we have the Energy Star hoax. They lobbied Congress to get a 5% increase for smart meters and have the Energy Star logo, okay?
Increase
So-
in what?
Increase in your electricity usage.
Okay.
Energy Star,
Your bill, your rates.
Energy Star is supposed to save electricity. Smart meters are on 24/7, and so are all the appliances that are smart.
Using electricity.
Using your electricity that you're paying for, your bill will go up with a
Right.
smart meter.
Stealing it from
Yeah.
you.
So what the industry did was they lobbied Congress to be able to put all these appliances within the Energy Star framework and frame it as energy saving, when in fact they lobbied for an increase in how much energy these appliances can use.
Right.
5% increase if it's smart.
By putting in all these little electronic
Right.
spying devices. Yeah.
And then they call it a saving. I mean, it's just total.
It's just disconnected from reality. Yeah. And
Well,
reason.
it's just completely, it's just a lie.
So that's a cool resource. So you've got the bank, you got the funding, and you can say, look, why, how did they get this free money? What does this mean? You know, you can follow that down. What else is in the document?
Oh, the health effects. I mean,
Yeah.
there's data on the health effects. You know, we
Yeah.
definitely need to update that.
So you're ever talking to somebody that says, oh, you know, you're a tinfoil hat, you're making this up, you're paranoid, you're a hypochondriac. No, here's this document, and here's the health effects, and here's the scientific reference on it, and this is better than what you got, so live with it.
That argument, believe me, when this industry loses their first lawsuit in the United States, like, do you want me to go down this rabbit hole, Jerry?
Well, no, I mean, that'll be like the glyphosate moment. That'll be the $2 billion, you know.
We are going to have a glyphosate moment, and
Right.
it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's probably other industries that are going to suffer that same thing. I mean, there's so many ways. It seems like we're being deliberately poisoned these days. That this is a floodgate.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so when someone says you're a tinfoil hat wearer, just say, oh, the National Toxicology Program is a tinfoil hat.
Yeah.
The National Institute of Health is tinfoil hat wearer.
Yeah, go there. Yeah,
There's
is
a
that good
13
enough?
country study from it was called it was years ago. Anyway, it found a 40% increase in malignant glioma. I mean, this is a 13 country, 6-year study. Interphone, that's what it's called. Okay. Interphone.
So phone meaning cell phone. They're doing like wireless cell phone research for that. Is that what that meant?
I think it is Interphone. Yeah, that was what it was called.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It was
And
about
that
brain
40%,
cancer,
yeah.
wireless devices, and cancer of the brain or
Yeah.
tumors of the brain. They found a 40% increase in malignant glioma, and this is an industry-funded project. All right,
Right. So it's not flaky.
there's
tinfoil.
nothing tinfoil
Yeah.
hat
Yeah.
about any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Okay.
Can you look our military in the face and say, I'm sorry, you guys, this is all tinfoil hat? The military is well aware of the health effects. They use it on the enemy. They love this technology.
Right. What they know about, if you say it's true, they call you tinfoil hat, and they're sitting there with all that information, and they know it.
Yeah, we use
all
this.
day.
It's called poppers. We use
Yeah.
poppers in Iraq on the enemy. We put little same frequencies that we have here in our schools for Wi-Fi. Okay,
Yeah.
we put poppers on the roofs in Iraq and blasted the enemy with poppers We made them dazed and confused. I mean, maybe they've upped the power,
Yeah.
density a little bit, or they
Right.
change the frequencies. But it's the same stuff that's in the school right now. That's the
Right.
bottom line,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah.
And they weaponized it.
Yeah. But mostly, like you say, it's what laws are being broken. Not just that a law is being broken. Somebody says, "Oh, that's against the law." Okay, what law? This law, on this statute or code or whatever regulation, this is what you're violating. This has, in many cases, imprisonment associated with it, or some sort of penalty.
Let me tell you something. Everybody needs to go to jail on this. Everybody needs to be in prison.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying in the document.
Yeah.
That's what you're giving them. It's like, I'm not telling you you're doing something bad. I'm telling you I can put you in jail if I have the Justice Department behind me because of this document. Is that correct?
What happened when we sued? Should I tell you?
Okay.
So we sued Edison and PG&E.
Mhm.
Okay, some of what we sued under is in this paper.
Okay.
All right, we won every single hearing. 4 hearings, we won them all.
Yeah.
Okay. After we won all these hearings with no further evidence being introduced, okay, no further hearings,
Right.
the judge reversed their opinion, okay, and threw our cases out after granting us a win.
Right.
Our attorney, who's in his 80s, has been practicing law for I don't know how many decades, said he's never seen anything like that in his entire life.
I saw it the first time I sued Los Angeles County. They did the same thing to me. They had some erroneous tax bills and they caused some damage to me financially. I sued them and I won in small claims court, and they ran an appeal and miraculously reversed the opinion without any evidence whatsoever. And it was like, yeah, that's the law, but today I'm just going to decide something else. They wouldn't even tell me. They said in 30 days we'll mail you the ruling. And so see you later, get out of the building. You don't get to be in here when you learn what we're going to do to you. Oh yeah, same thing they did to you. This is how our courts operate now. They do what they want, and the law is apparently not relevant anymore.
It is not. The judges are like
Yeah.
corrupt. I guess.
It's embarrassing to see them pretend to be proper judges, and to get the letter back from the Judicial Council saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to let this judge get away with this." It's just embarrassing for the whole system.
It's embarrassing, but it also damages people. For instance, in
Of
this
course.
case, with smart meter and smart grid, this is a life and death situation.
Of course, but I mean, the big picture is we have no legitimate justice system. We have no legitimate government. We have no legitimate regulatory oversight. We have no legitimate control on this. We have industry-controlled government. It's very obvious. So anyway, that's why we need your document, your book, and so we can come in and at least put it on the record. You've got it on the record. This was a corrupt judge. This was a corrupt ruling. It is clear. Like you say, we had all the favorable rulings and then they just changed their mind. Well, that's, pretty obvious that that's inappropriate. And that delegitimizes the whole system when that happens once. And it happens all the time.
Yeah, but the problem is that people like you and me don't get justice when that
Right,
happens.
right, right.
Yeah.